wasn't before. If it wasn't before, it is now. Or if it was before, it isn't now. So anyway, we're going to predictions this week. Overwatch League Stage 3, Week 4, Part 2. The season is closing out today. Yeah, sad day. It's the last day for Season 9. Hope everyone had a good season. Mine was pretty good. Still some toxic people and some issues and some just people that large portion of the population of Overwatch that just don't want to flex or ever do anything other than play their damage roles. But I mean, that's typical Overwatch. Overall, I had a pretty good time this season. Some of my friends started to get back into it a little bit, so that was nice. So, anyway, hope you guys had a great season. Hope Season 10 is a good one. We got Brigitte coming in. That will be extremely interesting to see how she fits in. So, we got Uprising versus Dallas. Dallas, they don't have effect. You could tell they lost to Florida pretty easily. Guys like Coco and Taimu were getting playing time. Coco played on a couple maps. I think Taimu played on all of the maps. Seagull was back on DPS. AKM was trying out that Tracer. So a lot of interesting things going on with the fuel. Overall, obviously they didn't look great. I mean, it's a squad that really didn't get enough time to practice together. They had Unko in there back on Zenyatta. Yada yada. They had Harry Hook on the other support. And Uprising crushed Shanghai. Shanghai did take the fourth map, but so Uprising won the first two maps really easily, and then the third map was actually really close on Ilios, and then Dragons did win the fourth map, but obviously Uprising still took the series. They're looking for their 12 match win streak now. They're 19-8. Looking for another win against Dallas. I think they're going to get it easily. Temple of Anubis, that'll be an easy win for Boston. Blizzard World, Boston will win that. Won't be that close. Ilios might be a bit closer, but Boston will win that one. Maybe I could see Dallas winning Junkertown. They won it against the Mayhem. They looked pretty good on it. Uprising won't really care as much. They already have really good map differential this stage. They'll have locked down the win. So maybe do Fuel takes to map 4? Sure, I wouldn't be surprised. But Uprising are going to take the series with relative ease. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Match 2. There is a bunch to talk about here. It's not just because my Gladiators are playing. It's a very good matchup between two very I'd say pretty evenly matched teams. I got the 14-13 Gladiators coming off a huge 5-map win against the Spitfire. They got off to another 2-0 lead, dropped the third, and the fourth maps. I was thinking, oh no, here we go again. That might be the most nervous I've ever been watching an Overwatch League match. But the Gladiators, they did pull it out in a very tight matchup. Props to Spitfire, they came out and played really well. It was just back and forth. Surefour was great on the Widow. On the last map, Hydration I thought was better on Sombra. I still don't love that he's playing Sombra. I would honestly rather see like Silk Thread in there, get him some maps. Plus he's showed that he's pretty freaking solid on Sombra. And then Asher was playing a bit more on the Tracer, which is fine. He had a bad performance last week, but I thought this week he was real solid. Just did a lot of things. He wasn't like super standout, but he did a lot of things well. And like I said, Surefour just went nuts. Tanks did a pretty good job. I would still like Fissure and Bishu to play a little more together. I think Bishu is alone too much. There are a lot of clips where it's just like Bishu gets demeched and he dies just because he's kind of away from everybody. So I think they should try to tighten that up a little bit. Houston also coming off a big victory. They beat the Valiant 3-2. Or no, they beat the Valiant 3-1. They took the first 3 maps. A lot of people were shocked. And then they actually lost on Junkertown, which is like their map. So it was interesting that it went down like that. But yeah, huge win for the Outlaws. Both these teams are now 4-3 for the stage. Outlaws are 16-11. I believe they are in 5th now. They're in 5th place in this overall standings. Gladiators 14-13. They are 2 games behind 7th place, 6th place, and 5th place. So absolutely huge match for them. I think if Gladiators lose this matchup, they're in really big trouble. I'd say at that point the chances of them making the overall playoffs are very slim. They would need like an 8-2 or 9-1 stage 4 pretty much for that to happen. Plus they have to win at least one, if not both of their matches next week. So it's a huge match for both teams. I think the winner of this match will make the stage 3 playoffs, and I think the loser will not. because the winner will be at 5-3 and they'll be in good shape unless they totally collapse next week. So when these teams played in stage 1, Houston won easily. They won 4-0. It was not close. Houston blew them away. In stage 2, the Gladiators won relatively easily. It was 3-1. They played a lot better. So now we got the rematch. Each teams have won a game. I think that mechanically wise, the Gladiators have an edge, but I think that communication and team play wise, the Outlaws have a bit of an edge. So I think these teams are just really, really closely matched. But I'm going with the Gladiators here, not because I'm a Gladiators fan. I like the Outlaws team. I like their guys. I think they're a bunch of good guys. And I do root for them most of the time when they're not playing the Gladiators. But I think the Gladiators win this one just because of the maps. I think the Outlaws got very unlucky with these maps. They're playing on Volskaya, Numbani, Ilios, and then Route 66. So no Junkertown for the Outlaws. The Outlaws have been decent. They have seemed pretty weak on Volskaya, and that's been a good map for the Gladiators. They're playing on Ilios, which is not as much of a Junkrat map nearly as Nepal is, so that's a disadvantage for them. And then obviously Route 66 is more Widow Tracer centered instead of like a Junkrat. So whenever that's like the map style there, Outlaws usually tend to be in a little bit of trouble. So Gladiators have had a bit of an issue with games 3 and 4 lately. They've been dropping them after getting off to good starts. So I think Gladiators will definitely take Volskaya. Then Numbani, I think, will be close. But Gladiators, I think overall, they have a bit better like hit scan variety, like with the McCree and Soldier, than the Outlaws do, even though Linkser can play a pretty sick McCree as well as, obviously, Widow. But I think Gladiators will take that one in a very closely contested one. Ilios will be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake is out and Clockwork is in for that map, and they'll be probably playing him on Farah. Gladiators will probably come out with Hydration on Farah, and then probably Asher as like the Tracer. So then he'll probably be dueling Linkser on the Tracer. So I think in that matchup, the DPS edge goes to the Gladiators. I think Gladiators win this match pretty easily. They could honestly 4-0 this if the tanks play well. If Fissure exercises a little bit of restraint, if he knows when to jump in at the right times, if he's not like over aggressive, because that is his fault. Like if the biggest weakness you would point to Fissure is he sometimes gets over aggressive and he can get caught out if teams are very fast on their counter dives. So that can be an issue for him. If the Outlaws can communicate that and have their tanks dive on him real quick, like if Bishu isn't there or if the supports aren't there for healing, then that could give Houston their edge because they do have a very good tank line. So I think that for Outlaws, that is what they're going to have to rely on. They're going to have to rely on winning those tank duels and then kind of rolling that over. Because I think if they just wait for picks and it's just like a pick game, see which DPS pair can do better, I think the Gladiators will always have the advantage there. Even though Linkser is incredible on the Widowmaker, I think Surefour will be able to neutralize him a bit. So yeah, going into Route 66, I think Houston will probably take that one, especially if it goes 3-0. But yeah, I'm going to say Gladiators take first 3, and then Houston wins the last one. Gladiators in this one 3-1, but it could go to 5. I would not be surprised at all if it goes to 5, but I really like the Gladiators in this matchup because they have been stronger on control than the Outlaws, and because this map pool particularly favors them. Moving on, we got LA Valiant, Florida Mayhem. So, Valiant, they're coming off a close loss to the Outlaws. They're now 16-11. They're 5-2 on the stage. Florida coming off a win against the Fuel. They've won 2 in a row now. They beat the Fuel and the Dragons, so I mean, they beat the worst 2 teams in the league. But still, a win is a win. They're playing on Volskaya, Numbani, Ilios, and then Junkertown. So I think Valiant will win this one. They'll bounce back. Mayhem will take a map. Maybe Ilios might be a good one. If they run side player getting that McCree or that Widow down, I think he'll be able to neutralize agilities if he plays Farah. So I think that map could go well for Florida. But overall, Valiant is a better team, and they will pull this one out 3-1. They really need to. And if they do end up winning this one, they'll be 6-2 on the stage, and they'll basically be in. They have a very good map differential. So even if they lost their last two, as long as they don't lose the last week like 08, they're in really good shape to make the stage playoffs. But they don't want to be losing matches here, because right now they're in 6th, and they are locked in a very close race with teams like the Outlaws and the Fusion, and even the Spitfire are down with them now. So I got Valiant winning this one 3-1. Moving on, we got San Francisco Shock against London. And I think this will be a very close match. London cannot believe that they're 2-5 this stage. The Shock do have more to play for in this. They're 4-3, so they're still in the stage playoff run. I think if they lose this match, they're kind of dead in the water. And I do think Spitfire will win. I think it'll be 3-1. I think London will take Volskaya because San Fran has still showed they have some issues on Assault. I think they'll also take New Bonnie. They've been very good on the hybrid maps, so I think Spitfire will go up 2-0. Then the Shock will win on Ilios, take it to 2-1, and then London will win on Route 66 and close it out 3-1. But I mean, San Fran could totally win this game if they play their A game. If they do not come out and play like they did against Fusion, I don't think they have any chance to win this. I think Spitfire, man, another map. I think 4 of their 5 losses this stage have been map 5s. So I think that they're going to come out and they're realizing, hey, if we keep losing these matches, we're going to be in trouble falling out of the overall playoffs. And they're going to come out with some passion, some fire, and they're going to win it. Maybe Birdring will be back. I don't know. We'll see. But I believe in London. They'll take this one 3-1. Moving on to a great match. We got New York Excelsior taking on Seoul Dynasty. Playing on Volskaya Industries, Numbani, Ilios, and then Route 66. So, Seoul, they're both coming off wins. New York beat San Fran 3-1. They're now 24-3. They improved to 6-1 on the stage, so they're pretty much in. I mean, if they win one of their last 3 matches, they're pretty much good. And I think they'll win 2 or 3 of their last matches. So they're in very good shape to make this stage playoff. I don't think they probably won't take the number 1 seed. I think Uprising will hang on to it. But I think New York Excelsior will definitely be number 2 at lowest. Seoul's coming off a huge win against the Fusion. It was a very bizarre match. Lots of full holds, bad offenses. But Dynasty, give them credit, they did end up clutching it out. A lot of people have said their issues have been when it gets to big games and big moments, they choke. They did not yesterday. They improved to 4-3 on the stage, so they're still in the stage playoff run too. You see, there's a lot of 4-3 teams. So it's a huge map for Seoul, or a huge match for Seoul. I think these teams have played twice, and New York has won 3-2 both times. So they've been very close matches. I think this is going to be somewhat similar. I think Seoul could very well take Volskaya. New York has been kind of on 2CP, on assault maps. So we'll see what happens there. I think Seoul could very well take that one. Numbani, I think New York will win. They'll probably be a bit back and forth, but New York will pull it out. Ilios, that's New York's playground. I think they'll take that one. I actually think Seoul will win on Route 66 and send it to a game 5. I think they'll play very well in that matchup. But then I think New York will end up winning this one 3-2 again, and deal a big blow to Seoul's playoff chances. But yeah, it's going to be a great matchup there. And wrapping up the week with Shanghai Dragons versus Philadelphia Fusion. So Philly, like I said, coming off that close loss to Seoul, they are not going to lose this match. Sorry, Dragons, you're going to 0-28. Temple of Anubis, Blizzard World, Nepal, and then Junkertown. I'm going to say 3-1. I think Dragons will take a map in there, but the other ones, Philly will kind of dominate, and they will take an easy win. I would not be surprised if this was a 4-0, though. Maybe they'll win 3 and then take the gas off a little bit, but I think they know that they need maps, so I would not be surprised at all if Fusion come out and go 4-0. and improve that map differential, because they're right now they're sitting 7th. They're the team. They're out right now of the overall playoffs. So they need to start winning matches. This is a perfect opportunity for a bounce back match against a not good team in Shanghai. So got Philadelphia taking this one. So honestly, a lot of great matchups. I think Dallas, Boston will probably be the worst matchup. Valiant, Florida could be kind of a blowout, or it could be very close depending how Florida plays. But yeah, a lot of these matchups should be great. Gladiators, Outlaws will be hyped up. Excelsior, Dynasty, that's sweet. I think Spitfire, Shock will be very good. So yeah, lots to look forward to this week. I'm excited. I'm going to be cheering like crazy for my Gladiators. And yeah, tons of teams still in the stage 3 playoff race. So we should be seeing some great Overwatch today and tomorrow. Hope you are able to tune in, and I hope you enjoy. I hope your team wins, unless they're playing against mine. And then hope you have a great week. And I'll see you guys either for my Sunday summary or next week for week 5 of stage 3. There we go. All right, bye.